Hey guys, welcome to day 27 of my 100-day self-connection experiment where I meditate every day for 2 hours and then share my experiences with you guys in a daily video. Today's meditation, I woke up. Most times I do my 2-hour meditation right when I wake up. I go to the bathroom, I drink a little bit of water, and I just dive right into it. I've noticed that if I just do the 2-hour meditation in the morning and then I don't meditate at all the rest of the day, kind of like I did yesterday, and this is actually kind of rare for me now because once I've started connecting to just listening to the silence, it's kind of like all I want to do. You just kind of want to do it more and more because you just start enjoying all the benefits that come with it, the connection, the clarity, and the depth of awareness that start coming in really quickly. So yesterday I really kind of just took a break. I created some things and then I just kind of relaxed. I watched Office Space. I talked to a few friends, some long phone conversations. I just kind of didn't really listen to silence at all the rest of the day after my initial 2-hour meditation. And I noticed those days that I don't listen to the silence more than those first 2 hours, I really need it that next morning. Like I really need to dive into it. I can feel like a layer of like gunk has built up or something. And so I'm noticing that these meditations are like going to the gym for the soul or working out for the mind or something. It's just like you accumulate all this gunk in your field, maybe in your mind, and the meditations really help to kind of flush that out, to clear that out. It's basically like cleansing your energetic subtle body. The other thing I've noticed is my prana is so powerful right now. It's like after a 2-hour meditation, I just feel so opened up and right through here in the throat, in the gut, that my breath, my prana, it just flows and I breathe so much deeper and breath feels like, it feels like so much pleasure. There's so much pleasantness in just the simple act of breathing. It's not strained, it just flows. And that's one of the big things I've been noticing right after my 2-hour meditations and during the meditations is just how much more opened up I am, how much more capacity I have to really take in more breath and just how it's just effortless and that feels really good. Now, I had two metaphors I thought about in my meditation that I want to share with you about the current times. The first one is a lot of times I'll get really what I think is like a really good idea like 30 minutes into my meditation, and it will be really difficult for me because I just want to get up and share that idea or I want to write it down or something, right? But I'm forced to do in these 2-hour meditations is to just let go of that idea and to trust that later on when I'm sharing, when I'm writing, that the idea will come back through if it's important, or that a even better idea will come through. And by letting go of that initial idea, I can clear space for something even, an even deeper insight. And I think that's what these times are teaching humans, is if we will let go of what we thought was a good life, what we thought were good circumstances, what we thought, maybe we had an okay, pretty good life. We were living at like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Maybe life right now is showing us that if we have the courage and if we have the willingness to let go of what was like a 6 or 7 life, that after a while, through the temporarily painful evolution of our souls, we could find ourselves in an even better life. Like something even better will come in if we will trust what we're letting go of. Matt Kahn says it beautifully. The ego cannot measure what it is losing, or the ego can measure what it's losing by letting go of something. It can quantify it, whether that's a relationship, a job, money, any type of circumstance. It can quantify what it's losing. But what the ego can't do is it cannot quantify what will come in as a result of clearing the space, of letting go of the old. It cannot quantify the abundance that will come in. So right now, we're so able to see and to really calculate everything we're losing. But we don't know what life is clearing the space for life is clearing the space for us, like what it's going to bring in. It could be something of so much more enjoyment, satisfaction, and fulfillment. And that's what these meditations are teaching me. In the first 30 minutes, I have to let go of a lot of stuff so that later on in the meditation, more depth, more insight, more truth can come in. And if I just trust that process and stay open to it, it's a very powerful and impactful meditation, and it just really opens me up to so much more than I initially even discovered. But if I try to hang on to those initial discoveries throughout that whole meditation, it kind of keeps me stuck and blocked, right? And it doesn't keep me open to receiving something new, because I'm like, I've got it. This is the best. This is as good as it gets, right? Maybe it's a 6 or 7 idea. And I just try to hang on to that the whole time, and it just keeps me close from receiving more. But if I let go of maybe that 6 or 7 idea in the first 30 minutes and just say, if it comes back through, if it's vital and it's important and the universe wants me to share it will come back through when it's time. If I just let go of it, now I'm open to discovering maybe an 8 or a 9 or a 10 idea. And that's what life is doing. It's helping people let go of their 6 or 7 circumstances, and through the process of growing and knowing that there's so much more than their circumstances, and that appreciating maybe the temporariness of this life and coming into their heart more and aligning with their soul's desires. After this passes, maybe that they're going to evolve into an 8, 9, or 10 life. And so that's the first metaphor I wanted to share with you. And I hope that's helpful. I hope that helps you kind of just surrender and not resist if you're seeing things fall away. The second metaphor is, there is really high energies available right now to support us Lightworkers, Starseeds, Empaths. The thing about it is, it's like, I've had this experience several times with the phone, where you have this old phone and it just doesn't charge really well anymore. Like, you literally could be texting someone and it has 2% battery and it's plugged in, but it'll just die. Like, the only way it will charge is if you're not touching it at all. And you just have to not touch it for a long time, right? I've had so many phones like this. And they're such a kind of a pain in the ass, because you can't even really use them when they're on low battery, even when they're charged up, or even when they're charging, because they're like on their last legs. Well, that's what's going on with us. We're going through such a huge upgrade right now that to be in our power, to feel really good, we're like that phone that's kind of like the old is dying, and we're becoming a new phone, where the new phone, you can use it all day and barely have to plug it in. But right now, in the current times, if we want to feel good, we just have to stay plugged in all day, and if we're plugged in, if we're meditating, if we're in nature, if we're in our heart center, if we're connecting to ourselves, if we're creating something from the heart, that's another way of staying plugged in. If we're doing yoga, if we're doing breathing exercises, if we're doing these type of things that plug us in, we can feel really good, and we can have access to the very high frequencies that are here on earth right now. But the second we start going on, our Instagram or looking at the news or watching mindless YouTube videos just to pull us away from ourselves, we're going to just drain our battery really quick and go to zero, and it's going to be really painful. And so and then we're going to start feeling that lack, when our battery's drained, and that emptiness, and that we're just not going to have that. We're going to feel disconnected from the higher energies. But what the higher energies are asking right now is for us to just stay plugged in, because we're going through such a massive upgrade. It's a temporary thing where if we can just stay plugged into ourselves, to our heart, if we can just sit still and listen to silence, if we can meditate for long periods, we can access these energies. I mean, doing nothing right now, just being, is so freaking powerful, because it's going counter to what the rest of the world is doing. And whenever you're going counter to the rest of the world, what you're doing is it's so much leverage for your personal growth, so that you can then share and expand with the world through giving your creative gifts. So if you're not plugging in a self-care way, then it's going to be hard to maintain those levels of energy. That's what I was feeling in my meditation today. Like, when I'm meditating for long periods of time, I feel so full and charged up, and I'm just ready to give and share. And when I can stay in that movement, life kind of flows right now, and we have an access to higher dimensions. But it's when I'm letting myself go into just entertainment, or just trying to like lose myself, and maybe it's eating or the news or whatever the collective sphere right now. That's when we just go from 100% charge to like we crash, and then it takes a long time to build back up. And that's the other thing. It takes a while right now to recharge. You might be feeling that. So those are the two metaphors that came through to me. We're going through a process of trust and letting go, so something greater could come through. And we also have access to really high dimensions right now of existence. It just takes some real commitment to connecting with ourselves in a deep way for prolonged periods of time. And I think the reason this is because Source, our higher selves, our guides, the universe is asking us to help stabilize and balance all like the chaos, right? And we are here as light workers to do just that. And how we do that, 1111, is we become present with ourselves, and we connect in here, and we anchor higher dimensions through just doing literally nothing but connecting within. And through anchoring that's how we're feeling good. That's what we're doing. We're like charging stations for light right now to come through and to anchor into Earth, so that we can assist in this global evolution, this global awakening, and how the universe is expanding so much right now. And as it expands, what you're going to become is, and as you take the time to connect into your heart, into yourself for long periods, and you are that anchor, that conduit for the Source, as you listen to what Source is intuitively telling you to do right now, you're going to become a new superphone that doesn't need to be charged as much, so that you can just be out sharing your gifts and giving and serving and expanding beyond what you ever thought you could be. But to become that superphone, it takes a lot of time of connecting to ourselves and letting the universe expand through us. That's hard work, and to really allow that to happen, we have to really make ourselves and how we're feeling our number one priority above everything else. So whatever that truth is for you, if it's long meditations like it is for me, if it's listening into the silence like it is for me, if it's getting out in nature, if it's yoga, maybe it's painting for you, maybe it's automatic writing, maybe it's prayer, that's a beautiful one. Maybe it's, giving your gifts, maybe it's massaging people who are stressed if you're a massage therapist, or it could be all kinds of things, just whatever charges you up, whatever brings you nourishment, and yeah. And I think that if we can allow these two movements of trust and letting go and nourishing ourselves, rather than getting lost in the distractions and the miasma, fear, and the chaos right now, if we can anchor the opposite by connecting into our hearts, into our bodies, then you're going to find that this time is abundant with opportunities for your expansion and personal growth. So listen to your heart. Come into your heart and follow that. And these times will be hugely, hugely growth-oriented for you. So is it 27? Jeez, day 27. I love you guys. I'll see you on day 28. Namaste.